people have a lot of questions. They get a lot of faulty logic. They get a lot of negative connotations about these myths and legends about the Federal Reserve. It's a constant grind with these folks. They live and die by this silly book that I have always keep around me. I'm sure you've seen it before.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it ends up creating this situation where we can't even really talk about what the fix is. We can't even talk about what banking is because we got to get past the myths and legends. Can you just tell us what banking is and kind of take us on a guided tour of what that looks like and what it should look like?
Yeah. Well, first of all, clearly the Federal Reserve is a government agency. They're an agent of Congress. You know, Chairman Bernanke was asked that question. He said, look, we take get our marching orders from Congress, and they fall under the Federal Reserve Act, which, you know, entirely controls the Federal Reserve. Now, I used to own a commercial bank, a small one, which I sold in 2013, and I had shares, what are called shares of the Fed. But they're not like normal equity shares. My bank had maybe $100,000 worth of shares, and it's like having a CD at the Fed or a time deposit. You know, they had my 100,000, and I would get 6% interest every year. Some years that was a lot, some years that was a little, whatever. It was a de minimis part of my bank, and certainly a de minimis part of the government. And I never got, you know, it's like owning a $100,000 bond from IBM or something. They never call you about public policy or anything else. You have no votes. You have nothing. There's no connection. It's no different than a bank depositor. And the initial reason for those funds were we were on a fixed exchange rate system, and that was the equity capital for the Federal Reserve. And perhaps at the time, those shareholders did have some kind of a say in what was going on. But certainly for the last, you know, my 50 years of experience, no one's ever even gotten a phone call or anything. You have no say whatsoever in the system. So the whole idea that it's run by private shareholders is complete nonsense, and that's been debunked many, many times. But it, like you said, it keeps coming back. So
what is the motivation of the people that say this? I mean, what do they seek to gain by trying to paint this lie? I don't understand. I don't get it. I really don't get what the point of this lie is.
It's just part of their general conspiracy theory outlook towards everything. You know, not that there aren't any conspiracies out there, but some people just see everything as a conspiracy, you know, out to get them. And they read a book, and that certainly reinforces that notion that there is conspiracy out there, and you see it on the internet, and you see it everywhere else, and it just keeps stirring it up. And people are susceptible to conspiracy theories. So, you know, these international organizations that control everything. Yeah.
Yes. So the deep state. I mean, let's just talk real quickly about what, you know, some of the Federal Reserve mythology is. I mean, folks think that the Rothschilds, as I say, have control of the United States government, that they control everything about us, they control the money supply, that everybody dances to their whim. They don't really understand what the Federal Reserve does. It's kind of shameful because they think that the armored trucks come to the Federal Reserve and that's where all the money is stashed and money's missing. Where's the 12 trillion? Where's this trillion? Where's that trillion? And it just blows my mind. And then it's repeated and then it goes viral. And then God knows we spend weeks and months trying to get rid of this nonsense. It's like a cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fighting the Hydra. You know, you kill one head and two more grow. It just keeps coming back. And I don't know that it's ever going to stop until someone at the Fed or someone in Congress or somebody, you know, just comes out and explains how it actually works. But they never do that. You know, Chairman Bernanke never did. Chairman Yellen has never done that. So if they're not, until someone like that comes out and, you know, decisively answers the question, directly answers the question, you know, it's going to persist.